Hi YouTube. I just want to make a quick video real quick to show off a little handgun I picked up. I've been carrying it for a few months now. I found it to be extremely reliable. I fired a few hundred rounds through it without a single malfunction, mostly firing these 124 grain Winchester NATO rounds. That's pretty much all I shoot in, and I have shot probably 100 just mixed 115 grain rounds. No malfunctions whatsoever with any of them. I've also fired a couple of boxes of the Winchester 124 grain PDX-1s through it without any malfunctions, and that's what I carry in it every day. But you know, from the reviews that I've found online, mostly on YouTube, some of the well-known gun review guys on there have shown this to penetrate about 14 inches of ballistics gelatin out of a short barrel, around 3 inches long, which is everything you need. You know, you can put 2 of these in a chest cavity and seriously do some damage. You have a really good chance of hitting something in the central nervous system with that kind of penetration, because it will, you know, still penetrate the bone and like rib cage and still get something vital. And I carry these just in the extra magazines because, you know, if you actually do have to use the weapon in a self-defense situation, you know, 7 rounds of PDX-1s should do the trick if it's just 1 or 2, you know, flesh targets. But, you know, more than likely it's not going to continue into the second magazine without everyone finding something to hide behind. And that's why I carry FMJs in the secondary mags. And as you can see too, these are 8-round magazines. The extras always carry the gun with the 7-round, which, you know, has the flat base on it. It's just a little easier to conceal, less printing, and it's not uncomfortable to shoot that way. As a matter of fact, I prefer it. Now the gun is actually a little Smith&Wesson Shield. I know a lot of people are familiar with these. It's a very common little handgun now for most people to carry, and I can see why. You know, I was a little skeptical to begin with, but after shooting it and holding it and getting used to carrying it, I wouldn't have anything else. I'm very surprised at the quality, the fit and the finish. Everything is excellent. The sights are all steel. They're mounted in dovetails instead of just being pinned to the barrel like Glocks on the front. You know, you got a little peephole there so you can see if you have a loaded chamber, which you can tell that is unloaded. And I like this little safety too. Some people don't like that, but it's real easy to get to. When you pull it out, if you're used to a 1911 or anything like that, it's just so easy to click that safety off, and it gives you a little extra safety when you got this thing in your waistband and you don't want to accidentally discharge. So I keep it on like that, especially if I'm, you know, getting up and I'm getting ready to put this in my waistband and I've had a round out of the chamber overnight and I want to put a round in the chamber, flick that safety on, rack the slide, no fear of the gun going off or anything like that while chambering around. The takedown lever is real simple, super easy to use. The magazine release, very easy to get to, operate. The trigger is nice. Now the gun is small, so my finger tends to wrap around the trigger quite a bit. It's hard for me to, especially in a self-defense situation, I don't think I'm going to really think about placing the tip of my finger on that trigger. But in self-defense situations, you know, more than likely you're going to be at point blank range. So you're not going to be aiming anyway, you're just going to point center of mass and start squeezing. One thing I like about this too, it has a steel guide rod system. I really like that. I like the barrel's nice and thick. It's not a little, you know, like the little Ruger LCPs where you barely have any material around the bullet itself. I have been carrying it in a very cheap little holster. It's a $12 holster. And, you know, I figured I'd just get it for something temporary to start with until I could find something I really liked. And it turns out I really like this. I've been carrying it for probably about 6 months now, and you can see there's really no wear to it. It's extremely soft. It's made out of a neoprene type material. The pistol is not held securely in it right now. I mean, it'll just slide right out. But when it's inside your belt, it snugs it down good. And I've actually went jogging with this in my waistband, and no problems. It's not coming out. Very secure, and it's just extremely comfortable. So I really, I can't really see myself changing for something that might be a lot thicker, and I don't know, but I can see sticking with this holster for a long time. I'm gonna slap one of this little magazine in here real quick. This is the one I carry it with. Like I said, it's got the flush mount. It's very compact. It doesn't print hardly at all. I can carry it under just really a moderately loose t-shirt, and don't have to worry about printing anything that anyone's going to notice anyway. And then if you like these magazines with the extension, it's not that much more. Gives you a little extra purchase on the gun. But I carry it like in the holster sometimes in the waistband. And there's also, I've been carrying it like this here in a fanny pack sometimes. This is just a Walmart fanny pack, $14 at Walmart. And what I'll do, I'll leave it in the holster like this, slide it in like that, and then pull the zipper over this way. That way, as soon as I pull that zipper back, the grip is right there. I can tip it up and get it. The extra magazines, I just throw them in here. The only time I do that is when I don't feel like carrying it in my waistband for some reason or another, which is rare, It depends. Like if I was at the city park working out or something like that, then I would carry the fanny pack and just lay it down close to, next to me if I'm working out on the ground or something like that. But that's about it, I'm very impressed with the little gun, and wanted to share that with everyone because, I did a lot of research online before I ended up getting this little thing, and, even after all of that, I was still skeptical, and now I know there's nothing to be afraid of. It's an extremely well-crafted little handgun. I don't think there's much of anything to go wrong with it. I'm very impressed with the way it's made. The way you take it down, there's a little pin right here. You have to get at. Right there. You can see it down in here. That's a little something. You can actually dry fire it too, but this right here is that saves you a dry fire. Little pin right. It's kind of hard to see down there. There it is. That one you see sticking out in the mag well. Then you just take your takedown lever like this. Let the mag slide forward. The slide forward, straight off the gun like a Glock. And you can see internally the slide actually looks a lot like Glock. But you can see this spring is much nicer than what you find on the Gen 3s anyway, and the Glocks. I don't know about Gen 4. Real small little deal. Very strong. Well built. Every detail of it. Barrel. Nicely machined. There's nothing burry about it. Very well machined. Nice, clean rifling. Very beautiful. It's got tight tolerances in the chamber. The ramp is slightly polished, which you have very little contact with that anyway, the way the mag feeds into it. And the slide, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that real good, but it's just an extremely well machined piece of equipment. I'm just really shocked what you get for the price. You can see down in here, that's one thing I like about it, the firing pin The channel inside there is lined with a polymer, which kind of reminds me of a polymer that you can buy to set up your table saws and stuff like that. Make everything slides easier on it. I don't know what you call it, but that's what it looks like, a white polymer. And you know, if you look inside a Glock, the firing pin will be, it actually goes through a small piece of polymer just like that, but this one, the polymer is within polymer, so the two are gliding on each other, and I think that's going to be a better system. It looks better, and you know, knowing what I know about that type of polymer, it is extremely slick, and the two combined, it's going to really give that firing pin a lot of freedom. I don't think it's going to be binding up anytime soon. And it's a nice gun. I mean, I'm really impressed with it. So, you know, if you get a chance, you've been thinking about getting one, just get it and try it, because I think you'll fall in love with it. It's well worth the money. You cannot go wrong. That little pistol. It's very easy to put back together. Just get that spring seated in there like that. Slides back on just like a glove. There we go. And just take your takedown lever, flick it back up. Drop the slide, but you'll see that that little lever in the mag well is still down, but as soon as I put a mag in there, it pushes it back up out of the way, and it's locked again. Next time you need to take it down, you'll have to push that little thing down again. But that's about all I wanted to show you. I hope this helps if you're just, you know, trying to decide whether or not to buy one. I think you will really enjoy it. It'll be money well spent. And so far, you know, this is one of those rare items that I've purchased that I feel like I really got my money's worth. Maybe even more than what my money was worth. But there you have it. Thanks for watching. Bye.